Hi. So I made this coffee table a few weeks back, and it's based on a 40-tooth Lego gear. It works, and it's interesting, and cups will go in the holes, which is kind of neat. And the mugs we have don't really fit in the holes, but they'll sit on the gear. But it doesn't really have a top. So I thought it would be neat, in keeping with the Lego idea, to make little Lego pieces that become coasters that fit on the top of the gear. So that's what I like to do, is to make some of these little Lego pieces as coasters. I found a piece of oak from the tree that I cut down with my friend Trent. It's just barely dry enough to start being used. So I jointed and planed this small piece that I found. And my thought was to get 2 of the Lego coasters out of this piece. So I trimmed up the ends. I had thought I would cut it in half, but then I decided it'd be easier to cut on the CNC if I left it as a whole piece. I made a ledge at either end that helped in holding the piece down on the CNC table. Then I cut out, I guess this would be the bottom of the Lego piece, but it will be the top of the coaster, as the Lego bump will point down into the gear. So what I cut out on the top of the coaster will be where I fit a piece of cork for the cup or the glass to sit on. I can take that piece off. Then I needed a piece to make the Lego bumps. I didn't really have a piece of oak that was thick enough to do the body of the piece plus the bump. So I'll just add the bumps as a separate piece. And I drew 2 circles that would work for the bumps. Then I could roughly cut those circles out on the bandsaw. So I could just glue this entire piece down to the piece that I've been working on, but it seemed a little easier and maybe a little quicker if I removed most of the material sort of by hand. Now the ledges I had made on the first side were now on the wrong side, so I cut those off and made the ledge on the other side, so I could flip the entire piece over on the CNC. And this oak is pretty hard, but it worked okay. Then I found the center of the cutouts I'd made, and I transferred that to the other side. I had clamped a scrap piece of wood to the CNC table that I could flip this piece along and line up the center to, so I could have the front and back be in the same place. Then I can figure out where these circles are going to go, and before I glued them down, I put them in place and I checked to make sure they were in the right place based on the CNC drawing. And of course the first pass I made was set up wrong and I cut into the body of the piece. I stopped that and cut it correctly afterwards. And my circles were in fact in the right location. And I did a finishing pass. Now these have to fit into the holes on the gears. So I brought the top of the coffee table out to the shop, and they were too big at first, which I sort of knew. I took off very fine passes on the CNC and made the circles slightly smaller until they fit nice and snug. I can take the piece off, and I can cut off the excess on the bandsaw. This was a little tricky in that I had to do it with the bumps facing down, so I didn't have any direct support under the cut, so I had to hold the piece firmly. And you can see how the down cutting bit really packs the sawdust into the cut. Then I tried to remove the extra material on the shaper, and this seemed like a bad idea. I think my bit's too big and my piece is too small. So I ended up removing everything on the descender as the sides were flat. To cut the piece of cork, I luckily just acquired I think it's a publishing saw or a printer saw. It's sort of a small, very cute table saw with a very precise fence. And I thought this would be nice for cutting the cork that goes into the center of the coasters. I had just got this. Our old woodworking group had our annual get-together the week before, and I had picked this up there. So I cleaned it up, and I dug out my ramps. I usually use these ramps to get things out of the truck, but they also work to get things into the shop. And I carefully brought the saw in. I wasn't sure whether I should be in front of the saw or behind the saw on the way down. But I decided to be in front of it, and I almost lost control. It went a little faster than I had wanted. And this is the fence going in. It rides in a little track on the table. Now the fence, I believe, measures in picas, which I thought was funny. I think that's what it is. And I did a test cut, and I figured out very quickly that this saw is perfect for cutting squares, because you can cut it in one direction and then rotate the piece in the fence and cut the other direction, and you have a perfect square, which is exactly what I needed for my pieces of cork. So I cut a strip of cork, and then I can rotate the piece and cut the other direction. And it's nice too because I can cut it a little bit big and then trim it down and sneak up on the size that it needs to be to fit perfectly in the opening. I can take the corners off on the disc sander, as the corners of the opening are slightly rounded from the CNC bit. Then I glued the piece of cork down. I'm not too worried about how well the glue sticks to the cork, as the cork fits in snug into the opening. So even if there wasn't any glue, this would work. I can reset the fence for a slightly smaller square and cut a scrap piece of wood if I get everything out of the way. And that slightly smaller square works perfectly as a sort of a piece of blocking for the clamps to hold the piece of cork down as the glue sets up. Then I can put on finish, and that went on pretty easily. It's not very big. Then I brought one inside to test, and I had sort of miscalculated. I had measured so it would fit one of these mugs, but I was thinking the cork would be flush with the top. And then I had changed my mind and made the hole deeper. Well, now the mug doesn't really work because the rim of the bottom is inset from the outside of the mug. So my solution was to add a second piece of cork, which I cut easily on the new table saw, and I could just glue that in place. And I could use my little square blocking pieces again. Okay, so here they are. See how they go in there. And a mug hopefully will fit. And if you want to move one, you can move it. So in using this, I've noticed the legs have gotten a little bit loose, which is actually the opposite of what I thought was going to happen. So my first thought was to try and make some kind of Lego sort of click together joint with the top of the leg. But in thinking about it, what would I think be a little more interesting is to do a more traditional woodworking joint with the sort of form of the Legos. My idea is to cut a slot into the top of the leg, then put a wedge down into the top of the leg. So it's a lot like the way that you would attach a handle to a hammer or an axe or something like that. And so when that wedge goes into the top of the leg, it'll make the leg expand just a little bit, and it'll hold it tight in the hole. That's what I'm going to try. So I need to make a wedge, and I've been meaning to make a jig for the table saw to cut shims, which is basically a wedge. So I spent some time making a shim jig. The first thing, I cut a dado for the stick that's going to fit in the track of the table saw. Then I cut a piece of, I think this is maple, that will fit in the track in the table saw. And I got that to fit just exactly right. Then I want to make sure that fit in my dado. And I had to widen the dado up just slightly, but then it fit nicely. Then I could cut out the jig. So in this jig, it's basically a rectangle, and then one side has a little bit of a notch cut out of it. And that notch will allow me to hold a piece of wood at a slight angle to the table saw blade. And I can cut a shim that way. I can free up the bed of the jig. Then I cut the bridges off in the shaper. Then I cut the height of the stick that'll ride in the T-track to the right height. Most folks I've seen put the sled on top of the stick that's in the miter track on the table saw to attach it. But I had the dado for that, so I attached the rail or the stick into my dado. And I can just add some screws. That's attached. Then I want to make a handle so that I can push this through the table saw blade. I found a scrap piece of maple, and I added some ledges to the ends so I could hold it. Then I cut out the finger part of the handle, and I can cut out the rest of the handle. This is based on the drawing of the push stick saw that I use a lot at the table saw. It's the same handle with a different shape at the bottom. And I can free that up on the bandsaw. And I got a much smaller bit for the shaper. This worked a little better. You could trim off that extra bit. And I put a round over bit, or a bullnose bit, I guess, in the shaper, and I could round over all the edges of the handle. So it's nice to hold on to. Then I can attach the handle to the bed. And I did it, and I've seen it done in a few different ways, but I did it where the handle is right above the rail. So you're pushing right down the T-slot when you're moving the sled. You can see how that works on the table saw. Now I need to make some wedges. So I found a scrap piece of walnut, and I cut that to the right length. So it'll be the length that the wedges are going to be. Then you can see how the sled works. I just run the piece through next to the sled, and it will cut a perfect wedge every time. And you can flip the piece over each time, so you're keeping the uncut piece somewhat close to a rectangle. Now with the wedges made, I could cut the slots into the top of the legs. So I can run those through the bandsaw. I kind of guessed at how far to go. I didn't want to go too far, but I wanted to go far enough. And I cut my wedges down to the length that I actually needed. And I can put the table back together again. So you can see these are really loose at this point. And I can put the wedges in, still a little loose, a little tighter, and then it worked. And they're definitely tighter now. And the table is much less wobbly. And I figure in the future I may have to tap these in even further. And that's what it looks like. So now we have two coasters and the table holds together a little better. And you can excuse my little bit of bad acting here while drinking tea on a sunny day. Thanks for watching.